I can't see him anymore. He's gone.
I tried to
He's
find
gone. He's disappeared. I can just see a floating head.
Oh dear.
Classic.
Camouflage. Classic. That is.
Bradley Dudley.
Hello, Sam Burke and Peter Botley.
Hey,
Nice
Bradley.
to see you guys.
Good to see you
Nice
too.
to see you as well, my man. How are things?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Coping, getting on with. I'm working from home, so I've got quite a lot to do. So it's keeping me busy. So it's not too bad.
When did you join Youth Theatre?
I joined Youth Theatre when I was in Year 7, which was 2007. I think.
2007. We spoke to Joe about your budding bromance that occurred throughout Youth Theatre. And you mentioned Tom Sawyer. So how was that for you playing Huckleberry Finn? It was obviously a big role as well.
Yeah, so it was my first principal role in Youth Theatre. So I was in maybe one or two things before. So I think it was Vision was my first one, and then there was Widows, but that was cancelled.
Yeah.
And then it was, I think, there might have been one more, then Tom Sawyer, or it was Tom Sawyer after that. So that was probably one of my highlights of Youth. It was playing Huckleberry Finn. So I just remember the audition was in one of the music rooms in the Ives, and me and Joe got partnered up to read in for Tom and Huck, and then we just had such a laugh doing it. And you asked me the question, how was it playing Huckleberry Finn? So it was really easy, because Huckleberry Finn is basically a homeless kid that just roams around playing in the river, doing whatever he likes. And at that moment was quite similar to what I was doing.
Other than being homeless, I just want to clarify. Other than being homeless.
His only note for me was basically, don't cut your hair. He was like, okay, so you appear to already be homeless, so I will be basically just don't cut your hair until July. And I was like, yep, can do that. So it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it, because I know you guys remember Jonathan was very much into his method acting. So we got really, really into the role, and it was just such a laugh, because Huckleberry Finn was such a great character. I like accents as well, and we had to have the American accent. So yeah, it was just such fun. And then obviously me and Joe just had a laugh. We were in a lot of classes together at school and stuff like that. It was just so much fun. Yeah.
And then to end up hosting Cabaret after all those years, obviously you've got a few more highlights that I'll talk about in a bit. But how we spoke to Joe about hosting Cabaret, and how that was one of the best fight scenes and whatnot, choreographed in it.
Yeah, so I always wanted to just stage fight, because I just love fighting. So
we'll get onto that as well in a bit.
So I'll tell you a funny story actually. So in Tom Sawyer, right, Alex Zuhair was playing Injun Joe, and didn't end up playing Injun Joe because he didn't learn his lines. But one of the things that we had to do was the fight scene. And the first time we did the fight scene, Jonathan was basically like, so just fight. So I've been fighting for a long time, right? And I've never, ever broken a bone. I've been for a long time, and I've never broken a bone. The only bone I've ever broken, is from that stage fight. I fractured my wrist 3 weeks before a show, because when we were planning that stage fight, Alex Zuhair threw me across the room and I landed on my wrist. And I still finished the rehearsal doing my dance. It's Tom Sawyer was such good fun. And I remember I don't think we've ever used it again before, but they had this echo box for the cave scene at the end, and it was just really cool.
No, I don't think they had.
Speak into your little microphone, and it would just echo, and it would just sound like you were in the cave, and it was it's just sick.
Great memories.
So going back to Cabaret,
yeah. I'd forgotten about that actually, but no, yeah, it was so much fun. I think one of my favourite parts of youth theatre when we weren't doing shows was the improvisation and the sketches. So when I first started youth theatre, it was a lot of improvisation. Like literally every Thursday night, if we weren't doing a show, we'd spend a good 20 minutes doing just thinking on your feet, improvisation exercise, and then a lot of devising sketches as well. And that, I found that really, really fun. So when we had the chance to do it ourselves and kind of sculpt how cabaret went, basically, it was really good opportunity, but it was also loads of fun because we'd had 7 years practice doing it. And we could basically just do what we want. And you know what it's like in youth theatre, it's just full of inside jokes, and we had literally hundreds and hundreds of stories to play off. It was just like so much fun, and we bounced off each other. And it's half for the members and half for the parents. Like we do the dance stuff for the parents, have a song or whatever, and then the rest of it is just jokes that the cast just find absolutely hilarious. And it's just the best thing.
I think the parents get a kick out of like seeing all the kids and stuff having fun. Like I remember thinking that
it's just so much fun to be involved with, and like it's just hilarious. I loved it.
All right. No, I mean that I said in Joe's interview as well, but that fight scene was just the funniest. At Cabaret when you you, Luke Pizar, Harry German, and Joe Davies are just going at it, and then you like roundhouse kick Luke in the face, and then Luke goes flying.
Let's talk about We Lost Elijah as well. Another big show for you, because it was National Theatre Connections. You played lead. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was really good. So I was not expecting to get the role of Elijah, and I had a lot of schoolwork on at the time. So you said I was the principal role, so the name is in the title, but like the story revolved around me, and I think I didn't have the most lines basically. So like I spent most of the show pretending that I was locked in a shed. So a lot of it was the narrative around how everyone else was coping with it, and the plan that Grace had got in her head to figure everything out. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was done with a small, close-knit group of people that were similar age, and like lots of my school friends that I was in the same year with. And it was just a lot of fun. And then obviously to go to the Royal and Derngate and to perform as well, like that was so much fun. And I think, obviously we didn't win it, but I think we maybe came second or something like that. Perhaps they told us, but it was just so much fun to be a part of. And I don't think I realised it was National Connections until I was like, well, we're in Northampton. But no, it was so fun. And like so I'd always been put in like the comedy roles and stuff like that. So I had Huckleberry Finn, which was a serious role, but it wasn't really nitty gritty. And then I had lots of funny comedy roles like Bugsy Malone, the policeman, and like lots of cameo stuff. And then this was a chance for me to like really get into like nitty gritty acting, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Speaking of your comedy roles, your comedic sort of ventures, one of my favourite roles you've ever played was Mason in Journey's End.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
So I literally was looking through my computer the other day, and I had this document, and I was like, what on earth is that? It was called like Mason's Cues and Entrances. So never in my life before have I needed to make myself a cue sheet for all of my cues. Like when you learn lines, you know what your cue is, because you know when the line comes, because you've spent so much time learning it, and it's usually a reply or a suggestion which is apt for that moment in time. Okay, but there has 3 full pages of my cue line, what I need to say, and what I need to bring on stage. That was the thing. Literally, I must have served up enough food for literally like the whole of World War One, because I literally spent my whole time just bringing in bowls of soup and just having banter with all the captains, and it was just so funny.
Cutlets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember the soup. What was it? Something about the soup. Yellow soup or something like that.
Yellow soup. Yellow soup and
Oh,
meat cutlets. What sort of meat?
Yeah.
Just meat.
Like, you deliver those lines in such a good way, and I think because everyone else was a bit taller than you as well, like, I think that added to that.
I was a little short fat kid. I've looked at the picture, and I don't know whether Trish put me in a really small uniform or whether I was busted out because not flattering.
I think the uniform isn't flattering.
The trim isn't great at the moment, quarantine. But I'm telling you what, back then we literally. Do you remember we all went to the barbers and John was like, "Yeah, just give him a bowl cut, please." Thanks, John.
Actually, Bradley, I think I maybe remember it a little bit differently because I remember you very defiantly wanting completely to shave your head. You were like, just shave my head, do it. I want to go bald.
Yeah, I was a bit of character. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I actually think I was all for the bowl cut as well, but yeah, I mean, I've got sympathy for people if they didn't want it, but I was buzzing. I just loved acting. I remember one time Jono told this story. I think it was before Vision. I can't remember what the play was, but anyway, there was this guy, and he was supposed to be playing this mad character, and Trish had basically gone, "Yeah, what we're going to do is just going to shave chunks out of your head," and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to do that." But, I was just completely invested in it. Literally, whatever. He was like, "Don't cut your hair for 3 months." I was like, buzzing. Sound, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, stick a bowl on your head and shave it. And I was like,
yeah, right.
Loved it.
I think that is one of my.
Like, whatever. I just wanted to get completely involved in everything. It was just amazing. Like, you see some people on the edge, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm like, buzzing, guys, get involved."
I think that's. I mean, we'll come back to your advice later, but I think that's such a good bit of advice for the kids. I know that we're going to do that later, but just to invest, get involved, just do it, have a laugh of it. There's no kind of.
I'm not a confident person at all. Right, I spend a lot of my time listening and not much of it talking. Okay, but in youth theatre, when you're a character, you don't have to. People aren't thinking it's you. They're thinking about the story, and they're thinking about what's going on. They're not worrying about how are you coming across, because you're not coming across as you. You're coming across as somebody else, obviously. So I think that for me was like, I really enjoyed just pretending to be someone else and just being that person completely, and not worrying about what people were thinking about me, because I knew that they weren't judging me. They were thinking and listening to what I was saying as a character. But that goes for being in character as well. But also, like, when you are being yourself in youth theatre, you must know that it's a safe place and that everyone's in the same boat. So
there doesn't seem to be a get out recently in my memory that you weren't in attendance for. My question simply is, why are you always there?
Well, I'm always there because I'm in Leicester at the moment studying. So I can't get back for the Wednesday night, Thursday night, or Friday night. So I come to the Saturday night, and obviously I miss youth theatre. So Thursday nights I used to do youth theatre. When I left, my Thursday nights became training. So I didn't come back as a volunteer. I wasn't able to. So obviously I missed youth theatre. So any opportunity, like, I would come to the occasional Sunday rehearsal if I could, and just watch, because I like to be involved and I like to be around that, and that environment is like, it's a great environment to be in. But yeah, so I make as much as I can. Life is busy, but if I'm back at the weekend, I'll make time. Like, that's my plan. On a Saturday night, if there's a show on, then youth theatre is getting my time. And if I'm there on the Saturday and everyone's putting stuff away, I'd stay and help. Like, I don't think it's that mad. But no, it's good. Like, and obviously you guys are there, and I know you guys. Like, there's still lots of my friends in youth theatre. So I'm going to hang around, give them a hand, have a chat. It's nice. Like, haven't been able to be, as involved as I would be if I had an infinite amount of time. So it's nice to be able to, when there's like an event on, to stick around as much as I can.
I mean, for me, it's just that's just the best mentality.
So what is your favourite show that you've done at Youth Theatre?
I mean, in what way?
Well,
overall
something that
just from my experience, my personal experience, I think it has to be Tom Sawyer. Just because when I think about the emotions I felt, like when I got the call from Jonathan to say that I've been cast as Huckleberry Finn, that was literally like amazing. Because I just think I remember the impact it had on me. So for that reason, it probably has to be my favourite show. We Lost Elijah, again, like it was such a good thing to be involved in, and I obviously had a great role to get my teeth into as well. But I think just for the fact that Tom Sawyer was when I was younger and it had such an impact on me, then that has to be my favourite. And the character Huckleberry Finn was just such a fun character to play. Yeah.
And have you got any overall favourite moments from your time at Youth Theatre?
Obviously, I went to the Fringe as well, and what I want to say as well. So I had like quite a decent, like a big part in the Fringe performance of What I Want to Say. So that was really good. That was another one as well, actually, where I got a chance to really, really like drill into some intense acting. Although it was only one monologue, it took like a lot of really, polish to get it the way that we really wanted it. And that was, for me, probably another one of the highlights. But no, I think just in general, it's just the atmosphere. Like, you don't realise the atmosphere on Thursday night, and having that group of like-minded people that you can confide in and have fun with and be yourself with is, I think, the thing which is my highlight of Youth Theatre, probably. So it spans the duration, but it's just, I guess, the way that it made me feel, I think, is probably my highlight of Youth Theatre.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna piggyback just from a memory that I have of you and I, which it kind of comes, because the thing is with Youth Theatre, you some of the memories come from outside of it. You make your friends in Youth Theatre, and then things happen outside Youth Theatre.
That's what makes it so strong. Yeah,
but,
and also like you bring friends in with you, and you take friends out with you as well. Like you make new friends, and you meet them in school, and you do stuff outside of school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, carry on.
But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I was going to say one memory that stands out is I suggested to you that we should kayak to Youth Theatre from from Manchester.
Kayak to a rehearsal.
Yeah, we kayaked to.
It took us 6 hours.
Oh, I know, it took so long.
This is what I mean, though. Youth Theatre is always about literally just saying yes and then just doing it.
Yeah, and
I just wanted to throw myself into everything. Like literally, that was me in full Huckleberry Finn mode, just like buzzing us to go out on the river.
Yeah, we ended up arriving late. I think we got to like Nobles Field or whatever, and I was just like, Bradley, you go, and I'll pack everything up, and then you can tell them why I'm late, because it took so long. But it was a laugh. It was just. And,
we need to do that again.
Yeah, but that came out of Youth Theatre, like I would never have met you. We went to different schools. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a fun little memory.
And incredible. And so, since leaving Youth Theatre, tell us what you've been up to.
Since leaving, so I left and went to do an undergraduate degree in Leicester. So I did that, and then I came back for a year. And then when I was back, I was supposed to be getting work experience to, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I thought I found psychology and neuroscience interesting. I enjoyed acting, and I did martial arts as well, quite competitively, so I enjoyed doing that. So when I was home, it meant that I could train all the time. I could come and pop into youth theatre rehearsals and say hello and stuff like that. So I was working as a maths tutor as well. So literally that year of my life was literally the busiest year, because I was working as a lifeguard, I was tutoring, I was training all the time, I was teaching as well. So between my undergraduate degree and studying again like I am now, that year was basically I'd start lifeguarding at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd finish at 3, so do a 9-hour shift. Then at 3:30 until like 6, I'd do maths tutoring, and then from 6:30 or 7 until 9, I'd do training, and then after that, I'd be like, does anyone want to come out?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then, so during that year, I was applying for different masters and PhD projects and like research jobs, and I got an interview at Leicester again, which was good. So then I attended the interview, and then they gave me it. So it was actually, I think it was only actually my second or third interview, and they offered me the place, which was really good. So I moved back to Leicester in last August 2018, and then I started at my own club training in Leicester. So that's about a year and a half old now, and yeah. So then that's basically what I've been doing, and I'm still studying, and then we'll see what happens afterwards.
I mean, you've kind of brushed over your martial arts a little bit. You mentioned a couple of points, but can we talk about all these trophies and big accolades that you've achieved?
What do you want to know?
Well, maybe we should just start with the fact that you're world champion. I mean, that's quite a good place to start, is it not?
Yeah, so I was supposed to be defending the title in July, but that's been cancelled. So I'm just going to, we'll say I'm world champion for 4 years.
I mean, see that's the thing, Peter. He's so modest about it that it's such a small part of this conversation.
No one wants to hear it.
That's exactly what they do want to hear, Bradley. You're world champion. Yeah, I mean if that's not an incredible achievement, I don't know what is.
I mean, I do train quite hard, but
yeah. Well, talk about you have to you have to work really hard to.
Train bloody hard.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, nice to be recognised sometimes as well.
What was the process like to sort of go from regular training to realizing that you had a shot at being national champion and then international to world?
Actually, competitions in our martial art, apart from the world championships, anyone can enter. Okay, but the reason, so obviously you get pitted against people that are your same level. So for me, that would be people with the same age and rank as me, that have been training for as long as me, and yeah, so you fight against them. Obviously, it's open to everyone, but tends to be the same group of people that turn up to competitions because they do well. So you obviously end up with the best people that keep competing. So at nationals, you literally just put in an entry form and you can go. So our nationals was supposed to be last week, but it was cancelled. Yeah, so that's been postponed. So it's probably going to take place in November. So I'm entered in that. European Championships, basically you need your instructor's approval. There's no qualification process. And then if you want to go to the World Championships, you have to have medalled at both national level and European level to attend, to represent the country. at the World Championships. So in 2016 and 2018, I did that, and then in 2018, I won.
Well, there we go.
Fantastic.
Do you have any words of wisdom, any piece of advice to our current members?
So I think I've kind of said sporadically throughout things that I think are important and what I've learned from both my time in youth theatre and outside of youth theatre. And I think that being both in and out of youth theatre gives me and anyone in that position a better perspective than people that are just expect naturally. So the first thing is obviously to be grateful, obviously, because you are not going to be in youth theatre forever. And with being grateful, that leads you to make the most of your time there. So like I said earlier about not being afraid to be yourself. So the things that you need to remember is that everyone in theatre is in the same position as you, and everyone wants you to succeed. And whether you need to use a character to do that or however you want to do it, just express yourself and make the most of the time, because you won't have it forever. And also the people. So the atmosphere in youth theatre is one thing, but the atmosphere in youth theatre comes from the people. So the traits that you learn in theatre, to be kind and to listen and to express how you're feeling and understand other people, you can take right the way through life. So my main thing would be to keep hold of those values, one, and keep in contact with those people, two, because youth theatre is something that you will treasure when you leave, and it is not only something that can give you a lot of pleasure, but it also serves as a little bit of a protective factor when life gets hard and you need people, because it isn't always going to be easy. So stay in contact with those people and remember the traits that you learned when you were in youth theatre, to listen and to be kind, because that is important.
Incredible words of wisdom there.
The wisest person we know.
Absolutely. Sensei.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Bradley. Appreciate that, man.
Nice to speak to you guys.
Yeah, it was really good to speak to you. Bye.
Go you big red fire.
See you later.
Yeah, go you big red fire engine.